Welcome to the Market Analyzer. It's Tuesday, April 29th, and we're going to talk about Bitcoin and the Nasdaq today. We're going to go through the charts and look at the RSI level, look at trend lines, and most importantly, look at some of those moving averages, and maybe we'll get a better idea of where this market is today. All right, so in the stock market, it's quite fearful right now and falling 38, and then we got crypto side 56 greed on the fear and greed index. And just wanted to show you this ad here I found. Strategy added 15,355 Bitcoin for 1.42 billion as price surged above 90K. The company's Bitcoin holdings are worth more than 50 billion following its latest purchase, with 553,555 Bitcoin on its books. So that's a lot of Bitcoin. That one company, one man, Michael Saylor, has been rushing to purchase. Michael Saylor's strategy added to its massive Bitcoin stash last week as the cryptocurrency surged above 90K. In an April 28th announcement, Strategy reported acquiring 15,355 Bitcoin between April 21st and April 27th. So I'm guessing Strategy between these dates has been pumping the Bitcoin price, right, depending on the volume, if it's at a low or the open and close. So the price might dump and the price might surge on an open, and they might just add more Bitcoin then just to get the price stimulated, the price going. The latest purchase cost Strategy 1.4 billion at an average price of 92,737,000 per Bitcoin. So his average price for these have gone up substantially from his $65,000 average price. Holdings by roughly 3% to a total of 535,000 Bitcoin. I have quite an amount of trend lines here to go over and discuss. And also, if you look at these colored lines, they are not straight. Those are the moving averages. They're the thin lines. There's blue up here, yellow, purple, pink, green, bright pink. So this one's light pink. Purple, dark blue or purple down here, and burnt orange at the bottom. And these all indicate a moving average. The top blue here indicates the 21 moving average all the way down to the 500 moving average. Okay, they're all color coded. Purple is the 50 moving average, and 200 moving average is bright pink right here. And these are the real moving averages you want to pay attention to, is the ones I have marked, because that's generally where the price does fall to as it leads up or down. And depending on the moving average could be over the price or under the price. And that's how we determine if we're bearish or bullish. Right now, I believe Michael Saylor or company and friends of the Bitcoin population has indeed been pumping the price. So the price has been pumped, but you can see on this top trend line, it hasn't broken over yet. So it's just stopped there as resistance right here. And the reason why I look at that is because back in 2021, the same sort of action on the trend line that's happened, except in 2021, you can see that it's actually broken out and then kept going. See, here is definitely looking similar to that. You can see right here, this since April 6th, the Bitcoin has bottomed on the 50 moving average right here in the purple and come up all the way above the 21 moving average. So when that happens above the 21 moving average, it's bullish. You can see here, back here above the 21 moving average, the price goes bullish. And then here as well, above the 21 moving average, the price goes bullish. This is 1, 2, 3 does not mean it is confirmed yet. It still needs to break above this trend line right here. Okay? It needs to break above this trend line and continue moving up. That will confirm it to be bullish. It's 2021 in the week since the first top that Bitcoin hit $64,000. It's come down and bounced off the 50 moving average, this purple line right here, $28,000, and then basically had a blow off top all the way to $69,000, $70,000 as the top, and then came down. So far, I'm indicating that that's what we have going on right now, even though that the price surged higher here back in 2021 and then came down. This right here still was a 56% drop. Right here, 34% drop. And now it has surged to a new all-time high of $109,360, right around there, and then receded off that all the way down to $74,715 as a bottom, and then bounced off that, acting like this 50 moving average was the bottom indeed. Until this breaks above this trend line right here, seeing a bit of a dead cat bounce and a bull trap. Okay, because I believe that this price has already happened. Because you look here, 141%, and you look here, since it bottomed on right here in the 50 moving average in 2021, it went to an all-time high. But here, it already did that and then went to an all-time high. See, it's already, in my books, it's already done. The price is being played out. So everything you're almost seeing now could be a dead cat bounce. I'm not saying it is 100%. It would have to break 97,000, right around that area, which I think if I bring this trend line down a bit to here, because you got 1, 2, and 3, and then here it is as resistance. So it's more 96,000. It would have to break above 96,000 to become still on a bullish trend. Otherwise, we're going to be consolidating right here, and the price will definitely move down to 85,000. That's where all the support is currently. And then this could very easily become resistance as 2024 March, the first all-time high we had, breaking the last all-time high. That price is still on the table, and that's 73,000, because that's where we bottomed out, 73,000. So if anything, we probably will hit here, 73, 75,000 for a double bottom if we were to bounce off that. I do believe that that was the top. We're looking at a 77% drawdown. And here I have this green line, which would be the trend line, and that would be 73%. So that makes sense to me. And the price come down to around 29,000. All right, just before we go into the Nasdaq chart, I want to show you something important here on the RSI for Bitcoin. And I'm going to first explain something that I noticed on the RSI. So back in 2021, it was way, way more overbought. Okay, the extended levels were way more bullish and way more overbought by about 3 months. Okay, so it went from early November to late February. Okay, back in 2020 and 2021. Now you can see the RSI levels were overbought severely in 2024, but not even close as much as 2021. See, in 2024, it only hit a high of 86. In 2021, it hit a high of 92, almost 93 RSI. And this one was only a month long as opposed to 3 months long. So I drew the exact line that the RSI was back in 2021 when it was in its full bull run all the way to peak and then fall out to a bear market. Okay, this is why I think we are in a bear market or coming to a bear market. Okay, you can see here, that's it right there. And you can see it's almost playing out exactly. It is playing out exactly. Obviously, before I said the RSI in 2021, the black line indicates 2021. So obviously I said that the RSI was much more. You can see right there, it's much more. And then the bottom to the top, okay? So the dead cat bounce right here and then into the bear market. And that's what I believe we're going to do. And then you can see that's the end. And then the end would bring us to $29,000. That's what I see playing out, doing the same thing it did in 2021, just at a lower scale. All right, to the Nasdaq. Starting with the blue trend line and the green trend line right here, these indicate the last two bull runs, obviously. And these bull runs were parabolic after they had a sharp decline. The reason why I put these on there is to indicate if we're having the same sort of decline with the same sort of rise. I'm guessing we're having more of a 2008 style crash, which is a much longer but a sharper decline, which was 56% in total. And that would indicate this purple line right here. Following this with 185% over 583 days. And the reason why I put 183% is because in 2001, the dot-com bubble crash was much, much, much bigger. So if we have the same crash as 2008, this one was a 79% crash. But I believe we're going to have a 2008 crash along with 2001 dot-com consolidational rise right here. Obviously, if we have a crash like we had in 2000, then we're looking at almost an 80% crash. 2008 style crash, we're looking at 55%, which would bring the price down to 10,000. If we have a 2001 style crash, we're looking at an 80% crash. That would bring the price all the way down to 2015 levels, basically to depression levels at $4,000. Now, I don't think that's going to happen, but it could. It certainly could drop the Nasdaq 80% from its all-time high right here. All right, so I'm indicating that Nasdaq has likely hit a top. It is downtrending. There was a little bit of resistance here at 19,721. If it does continue to move up, there is more resistance and support. There's a little bit of support right here at 20,600. Does reject off that. It's looking at coming down and retesting this 16,339 mark. And I do believe it'll come all the way down to that 13,000 mark and then eventually potentially come down to meet that 9,700 mark right there, and then probably bounce off that and continue moving in an uptrend. So waiting upon prices down here could be the best bet. It just could be. All right, so that's it for the Nasdaq. Thank you for watching.